Photo by Jordan Johnson, NBAE via Getty Images. There's been plenty of conversation among NBA writers about the offensive style of James Harden and the Houston Rockets. They have been at the forefront of the analytics movement since Daryl Morey took over the front office with their uncanny commitment to shoot three-pointers, shots at the rim and free throws. They don't swing the ball around the perimeter often, but rely on a singular player, Harden, to make all the decisions off the dribble. It's the most difficult defensive assignment in the NBA at the moment to be isolated with Harden on the perimeter, even if you know he's simply going to take you off the dribble or step back attempt a three-pointer. You make one mistake and you'll get scored on or foul him, and the frustration over 48 minutes of the game slowly builds. The quibbles about Harden's game don't make sense. If you have a player whose greatest strength is isolation basketball, why stray from it? It's like having a Shaquille O'Neal or another dominant big and not tossing him the ball 30 times a game. Harden just does his scoring and getting opponents in foul trouble mostly from the perimeter and not the paint. The simplicity of their system is what makes it so successful. Harden gets a screen and tries to get switched onto the opponent's weakest defender, then goes to work. If they double him, he is one of the best passers in the NBA and finds a rolling Clint Capella. Capella, an above-average passer for a big, either finishes it himself or kicks it to an open player spotting up in the corner or perimeter. It's really that simple. The Rockets' slow start had to do with finding the right rotational pieces. Daniel House Jr., Austin Rivers and James Ennis III are perfect off-ball fits for their system and replaced Carmelo Anthony's minutes. Gerald Green and P.J. Tucker remain staples in the rotation along with Capella from last year's Western Conference finalist team. Eric Gordon and Chris Paul are injured, yet the Rockets are 12-2 in their last 14 games. Over that span, they lead the league in 3-point attempts per game, 43.9, are fifth in three-point percentage, 38.0, and rank third in free throw attempts per game, 27.6. More than half of their shot attempts come from the three-point line. This is Morey's dream, and he has a player he considers among the most gifted offensive players ever leading the charge. It all comes back to James Harden. He's now firmly in the MVP race once again, averaging 39.4 points, 9.2 assists, 6.4 rebounds and 1.9 steals over that 14-game stretch. He's attempting 14.4 three-pointers and 13.4 free throws per game, producing highlight after highlight in the process. He's a gift to watch whether you enjoy his style or not, and is leading the best team in the NBA over the last month, all while playing the game as simply as possible. Page 2, photo by Scott Cunningham, NBAE via Getty Images. The Atlanta Hawks are actually fun to watch and are in the midst of a 6-5 stretch that has taken them out of the pitfalls of the Eastern Conference. They're still 6.5 games out of the final playoff spot and every win hurts their chances of climbing up the lottery odds, but they are finding an identity with their young players and playing the right way, which is more important than a chance at a top pick. The Hawks received an ample amount of criticism for trading the rights to Luka Doncic for the rights to Trae Young and the Dallas Mavericks' 2019 first-round pick, but Young is improving by doing less. Over that 11-game span, the rookie is averaging 15.1 points and 7.9 assists per game, and for the season is third in scoring and tops in assists among rookies. He's shooting only 3.2 three-pointers per game at 54.3% in that span, but is getting into the paint and looking for his teammates a great deal. He was without three of the Hawks' best players for the early portion of the season as Kevin Huerter, John Collins and Dwayne Dedmon worked their way back from injury. With a team around him, the load has lightened and he's becoming efficient from the field. Outside of Young, Collins and Huerter are looking like perfect fits for this team. Collins is averaging a double-double, 18.3 points and 10.3 rebounds, and is the ideal rim runner to be paired with Young. Herder is a sharpshooter that is knocking down 38.8% of his 5.2 three-point attempts per game since becoming a regular starter on November 25. Herder has more to his game, but that's an impressive clip for a rookie. The important thing with team building is everyone having defined roles. Young is the main ball handler, Collins is the rim runner, Herder provides shooting, and the rest of the team will be filled in future drafts. Omari Spellman is getting playing time in the G League after playing a great deal in the early part of the season due to injuries, so he's another well-rounded piece that could be part of their core. There's a lot of ifs and coulds in the NBA developing process. But if you play the right way and have multiple players that fit in your system, you're on the right track, and that's what the Atlanta Hawks have shown in recent weeks. Next, Timberwolves move on. Page 3, photo by David Sherman, NBAE via Getty Images. The Minnesota Timberwolves fired Tom Thibodeau in his third season as head coach and president of basketball operations on Jan. 6 after defeating the Los Angeles Lakers by 22 points. The timing of relieving him of his duties after a blowout win was strange, but the franchise decided no progress was being made and they needed to go in a different direction. That direction for the rest of the season is what assistant Ryan Saunders, the son of the late Flip Saunders, who now finds himself as the youngest coach in the NBA at 32 years old. The younger Saunders has gotten rave reviews as an assistant, but taking the reins as the head coach is a bit different. We will see what changes he makes from Thibs' grinding style and non-innovative offense. The only aspect that should matter is player development and putting everything on Karl-Anthony Towns' shoulders. Cat is one of the most talented big men in basketball and is only 23 years old. He got a taste of the NBA playoffs last season and is genuinely the hope for the franchise. Saunders needs to develop a system strictly around Cat and let the veteran pieces around him fall into place. Andrew Wiggins needs to improve his game, especially with his 5-year, $148 million contract starting this season. Maybe Saunders can unlock Wiggins' athleticism and turn him into a defensive force, or show him the analytics advantages of shooting threes and attacking the basket instead of settling for mid-range jumpers. It's clear Thibs failed to develop Wiggins, which is one of the main jobs of a head coach. It also could signal the end of the head coach-general manager duality that Thibs and other coaches have failed at in recent years. Thibs' failure is a reflection of his own stubbornness to value the present over the future. The Derrick Rose comeback is awesome and has resulted in wins, but Tyus Jones can legit be the point guard of the future for this team and needs the minutes. Josh Okogie is a bright talent. Robert Covington and Dario Saric are solid players, but not getting a draft pick in a Jimmy Butler trade is pretty bad. Ryan Saunders has a half-season to prove he's the man for the job, and the Timberwolves are only 3.5 games back of the final playoff spot in the Western Conference. If he can keep them in the playoff race for the season while installing a system based around Cat, the Timberwolves would have their future coach and centerpiece with some intriguing pieces to work with moving forward. Page 4, use your arrows to browse. Photo by Stacey Revere, Getty Images. These are the 3 best games on this week's slate, including the 2 MVP favorites meeting in Houston. Indiana Pacers at Boston Celtics, Jan. 9. 2 Eastern Conference teams currently in the 3 seed and 5 seed meet in Beantown as the Indiana Pacers take their stalwart defense to face the Boston Celtics. 2 of the best defenses meeting in one of the best home courts in the NBA will make for a gritty, intense game that will have playoff vibes. Even if Kyrie Irving sits out again, Marcus Smart defending Victor Oladipo is a main attraction worth watching. Milwaukee Bucks at Houston Rockets, Jan. 9. 2 of the NBA's best teams. The top 2 MVP candidates. Giannis Antetokounmpo attacking Clint Capella's paint and James Harden dancing on the Milwaukee Bucks' litany of perimeter defenders. Need I say more? Next, Week 13 NBA Power Rankings. Oklahoma City Thunder at San Antonio Spurs, Jan. 10. The San Antonio Spurs are quietly 8-2 in their last 10 games and have climbed to the 6th seed. They are playing faster and the ball is flying around the perimeter with their bench unit knocking down their outside shots. This is their first matchup with the Oklahoma City Thunder in the span of 3 days, and as the current 3 versus 6 matchup if the playoffs ended today. Use your arrows.